Hi, I'm Cindy Gay. Color planning can be something that scares the daylights out of some people. Some people just refuse not to do it. Other people feel like they stumble through. Which are you? Do you find your way as you go, taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, but eventually getting there? Do you charge in boldly and then decide it didn't work and you lose your steam, and maybe you roll up the rug and put it in a closet? Well, let's save all those projects. They're all savable. And color planning really isn't that scary. So, in today's lesson, I'm going to teach you that you can do this. Anyone can color plan using my system. You can do it. It's step by step by step, and you get there. It does not take extra time. Some people think, oh, I want to get hooking. I don't want to take a whole lot of time. Is 10, 15 minutes too much time to set yourself up for success? I don't think so. It saves me a lot of headaches. And it actually makes you more creative, not less, because you have the confidence that the colors that you have laid out will work together. You just got to figure out where to put them. You have a value study that tells you where to put them. So now you can get creative. You can work in multiple outlines. You can work in a beading stitch. You can work a pattern into what you're hooking. You're not so concentrated on the fundamentals. That stuff's all been taken care of. And now it's just a matter of doing the pure creative joy of rug hooking. Let me show you how it's done. Let's get started. The important thing to remember is that you can learn color planning. It is not something that only certain talented people can do. Granted, it is only something that experienced people can do without really thinking about it. That's true. But they didn't get there by accident. They earned the right to rush into it blindly and to just know what works. And it takes you a while to get there if you're a beginner. My course called Practical Color Planning for Rug Hookers is called Practical Color Planning for a reason. There is some color theory because I don't think a color planning course would be complete unless you know a little bit of the terms. So there's a little bit of that in the beginning, but not much. I quickly get into practical ways of figuring out how wool works, such as using a texture sampler or such as using the pinch test. There's a lot of tricks and tips that you can do to guarantee your success and to save you hours and hours and hours of time. And maybe even save some of those rugs you've got stashed in a closet somewhere, right? So, the way I look at it, if you say, I can't color plan, you're right. But if you say, I don't know how to color plan yet, but I'm willing to learn, I can teach you. It's just a matter of putting together the right steps in the right order so that you succeed. So, what do you need to do first? You need to whittle down your wool stash, particularly if you've been buying it willy-nilly, and take a good hard look at it. You can do this for your entire wool stash, or you can do it just for this one rug. I recommend doing it just for the one rug first, right? And figure out what you want that one rug to look like. Do you want it to be soft and beachy? The minute I said that, colors came into mind, right? Or if I say dull and antique, different colors come to mind, right? Now, some colors will fit in one category or the other, while some wools are a little bit more of a chameleon and they will fit in multiple palettes. So even though you do soft and antique in one, there might be a couple of wools in that color palette that'll work in soft and beachy. I'm thinking of like a sand color would work probably in both. And it's a matter of finding those wools and using them at the right time with the right other wools. A color plan is a set of wool. It is not a bunch of wools pinned to the right place in the rug. It might look like that in the beginning, the first time you take a rug hooking course, but what that teacher is doing is she's filtering out what wools will work, which ones won't, and she's applying this palette principle. She's looking at that based on what you have on the table. We usually pick the majority of what we see as the direction to go. Or she's taking clues from you based on what you've said you want the rug to be. And if it's soft and beachy, I'm going to pick a different blue than if you say jewel tones and rich. Get the idea? So once you have your palette, the next thing that you need to do is to decide where the values are going to live. So you do a simple value study. And for that, we go to paper. We take a black line drawing of your pattern with dark, medium, and light. And that is all we use. We do not use colored pencils. I don't recommend markers. You get too confused with color and you can't get that variation of color. You can't get a dark green, a medium green, and a light green, right? Unless you've got a huge set of markers and now you're spending all your time managing your markers. That's not where I want you to spend your time. Do it super simple. Let's get a black Sharpie, a silver Sharpie, and or a pencil. And then the white of the paper for light. That's all you're going to need. And simply color it in with dark, medium, and light. There's more details inside the course about this, but you're welcome to give it a go and see how it works for you. Once the value study is done, and part of that value study is deciding, is your background going to be dark, medium, or light? Medium is the most difficult value to use as a background. A dark wool or lighter wools are always going to be easier. It is possible to use a medium wool, but take some advanced techniques and a little bit more trickery. But there's certain ways around that. For now, let's decide that you've chosen a dark wool. And you might not know what that color is. But from there, you can start choosing the rest of the colors that you're going to use in the rug because you are going to avoid that dark wool. If you use a wool, even if it's a different color, that is the same value as your background, it's going to look like a hole shot through the motif instead of the background. So you want to stay away. Once you choose that background, you're eliminating a bunch of other wools from being used in that rug. So if there's something that you really want to use, but it conflicts with your background, consider changing your background. The color planning process is really often three steps forward, 2 steps back. It's not always a straight, perfect, linear path. What decisions in life are, right? Once you have the background wool identified, and I also, as a side note, recommend using multiple wools for the background, because if you run out of one, you're still good because you've got several other ones to choose from, right? And that process will ease that, I don't know if I have enough. Inside the Rug Hooking Journey membership, if you're unsure, there is a wool calculator where you simply plug in the dimensions and it'll tell you how much wool you need. So that's one way to be sure that you have enough wool for your particular background. But once you have that decided, you can now start thinking and hooking the motifs. Choose the motif that you want to start on. Look at how you identified it. Just because you colored an area in medium doesn't mean the entire area needs to be medium of one color. It could be medium of multiple colors. It could be medium, medium dark, medium light. There's lots of different ways. And here's where the creativity comes in. You're using your value study as a guideline, not as a way to stifle creativity as you're going through it. But what you are doing is ensuring that the outcome that you're going to be getting is what you really want. To learn more about my courses, head on over to this URL. It has all the courses, including the membership that I offer. The practical color planning for rug hookers is a course, a premium course. But what it means is that you pay once and only once, and then you have access to the lessons for as long as they're on the internet. And I've had my website up and running so far for 20 years. And I expect to go another 20. Rug Hooking Journey membership is a very economical way of getting into the courses and the membership. There are tons of videos going all the way back to 2016. I've been doing live lessons somewhere on the internet since 2016. There are recordings of those lessons there. There are full-blown courses that you can follow. And better yet, on Fridays, I have office hours. And what that means, and that happens several times a month, what that means is that you show up and ask whatever question is on your mind. You're not limited to the topic at hand like we are during the live YouTube lessons here. So the office hours, we'll talk about finishing, we'll talk about dyeing, we'll talk about design, we'll talk about washing wool. Whatever it is, I will talk and answer to your specific question. It's not a question that's almost your situation. It is your situation. That's why it's called office hours. If you're looking for more rug hooking videos, this is a great place to get started.